I'm Darci. I'm the owner of Explore Digital, and we're all about demystifying digital marketing. Today, I have Barbie, our resident SEO manager, on today, and we're super excited to get into SEO. And to start, I want to talk a little bit about how SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So helping people typically get to the top of Google. That's what everybody kind of remembers about SEO. So she's here to share some stories of the past, the present, and the future, all about SEO and where it's at today. Another question, as far as the industry goes, that we have is the emergence. I've got clients saying, I want to rank in ChatGPT, I want to rank in Perplexity, I want to rank in Gemini. This is something that I've been hearing a lot more, and I think I shared earlier that ChatGPT now has a 1% search market share. So AI bots are definitely starting to bring up the search engine piece. Google's 90%, but ChatGPT might be a sleeping giant pretty soon. So I found out recently that the term for optimizing for chatbot results is called G.E.O, Generative Engine Optimization. I don't believe that a playbook has really been written at this point in terms of how to rank. Would you say that if you've been doing SEO for a number of years, that you have an advantage with the chatbots and with, I don't necessarily, it's generative AI. It's not necessarily a chatbot. But would you say that folks are ahead that have been working on their SEO, or is there anything that we need to keep in mind here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see almost on blogs that have been written for specific subjects, I've seen appear right away for the top. Periodontist that likes to talk about subjects that, I don't know anything about, but so the content that's developed is very specific, and AI loves that content. This is the other thing, though. It's a local company, but it's a national article, right? So everybody sees that, he appears for periodontitis for juveniles. You can't be more niche on a subject like that. Brings him a upload of content visitors. Do they convert for him? No, because they're probably living,
top of funnel.
Utah.
That's top of funnel. It's informational.
But one thing it does is bring him authority that then helps him rank for periodontists in San Diego. So I do see AI helping definitely catapult this particular local company to, rank better.
In your example, is he showing up in Gemini, or is he showing up in ChatGPT, or where is?
I think he's showing up in Google's AI answers.
Oh, were you talking about the search snippet? Like the answer box?
Yeah.
In Gemini? I just realized, did they get rid of the answer box and replace it with Gemini? I haven't seen the answer box in a minute. So Gemini's putting out those results. Okay, so we have a client that's ranking for juvenile periodontitis, and he's showing up in the AI overview results. And it's because it sounds like it's actually because we've outlined essentially what people, somebody's looking to learn more about something, and it's an informational query. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. But it does bring him that authority. Absolutely. Some of my hypotheses with generative AI too is Bing webmaster tools, because we've also heard that Bing is closer in ChatGPT results than Google results. So we've been doing Bing webmaster tool optimization. And I also want to say Schema.
One thing we haven't brought up is the FAQs that we've added to service pages now. By adding some of the FAQs that come up for some of those questions people are asking. And now I've even started putting those on service pages and even on so much on blogs too.
Absolutely.
And, just to make sure that we come up with some of those specific long-tailed keyword questions.
I'm thinking about our client now. I'm interested to understand if there's any sort of CTA or anything that we can do to bolster, maybe he can make an appearance, maybe he can speak or be on a podcast. I'd like to get his name out there a little bit more, especially if it's really creating clout for him in the search results. That's awesome news. But it sounds like it's still early days of generative engine optimization, but if you've been doing SEO, you already have a much better head start than anyone, because again, ChatGPT, Google, Bing, they all have to understand and be able to understand if you're relevant to the user's query.
Yeah, and that's what, again, the fundamentals come into play on any sort of content that you write. The header, the H1 says, this is what this page is about.
Yeah.
Your subheadings are, this is supporting. It comes back to just your basic writing you were taught, hopefully, in high school. But then it also comes down to some of the things that you don't see, meta titles, maybe some of the schema on the page. If they're making sure that you've written something, but then there's some just general questions you'll want to add to that page that relates to it. And then that needs to be added with some FAQ schema on the back end that you wouldn't see. And I remember schema used to be so scary to me, but now it's super, super fun. I love creating schema, and it makes it even easier to do it in ChatGPT.
Oh man, that is the tool. That is the tip of the podcast right there. Use schema in
ChatGPT.
Can you actually just give a brief synopsis? What is schema?
A schema is really just a way of hand feeding Google the information on the page. It's just saying, here is the question. If it's an FAQ, here's the question, here's the answer.
So telling Google, this is a question and answer.
If it's a services page, telling Google what the service is and how you can help it.
So it helps the search engine understand a little bit more about what's on that page and what to expect, because it's going through news outlets, it's going through business websites, it's going through bloggers. Like, it doesn't always know what it's looking at, right? So making sense of it or helping it make sense of the content a little bit easier definitely gives you an edge.
Yeah,
for sure.
And if you're a local company, for sure, like schema's even gotten so advanced where you have schema for doctors, schema for dentists, schema for, services. So specific schema for each of these.
For actual industries. That's very cool.
So it's really,
it's
so
really
then
cool.
Google can kind of go, oh, that helps me. Oh, thank God. I can put that in the doctor bucket. I can put that in the landscaper bucket, so yeah, it definitely helps in that way.
Kind of like how I was talking about landscape designers, landscape design and build, maintenance landscaping, that type of thing. There's all these different types within an industry. So making sense of it for Google, what type of landscaper is this?
And that also goes into Google business profile as well, because, as you're saying there's a landscaper, well, that definitely their primary job is a landscape design. It'd be something that actually Google has as a top primary target, where someone, if they're landscape maintenance or, and maybe some design, but mostly landscape maintenance, that would be actually gardening. It's under gardening services, defining that also and making sure that your content aligns with that as well is really important.
I had a friend that would say, I love SEO because it's like cleaning up the internet. It's organizing the internet, essentially. That's like what we do for a living.
Yeah, it plays really well on my OCD tendencies, right? It's just like, I'm like, this weekend I was going through photos and I'm like, okay, I got like my photos from the 80s, photos from the 90s, and it's breaking it down,
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just organizing the internet, essentially, and just making it clear, like, from somebody who doesn't understand immediately, like, how do I make it make sense for them? Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. Well, awesome. I'm super excited about everything that we've done together over the last 8 years we've been working together, which is awesome. And
learned a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty clear that SEO is not dead.
Yeah.
No, it's actually grown in the need. Yeah. Especially with YouTube. We barely even talked about video SEO.
I'll be another podcast.
I know, exactly. Very cool. Well, that's all I have today. Thank you so much for watching our podcast and going through SEO and kind of demystifying what it is, how to handle it, things you should consider. And I'm super excited that we were able to have Barbie on today.
Feel free to reach out and ask me questions, and don't forget to subscribe.